Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of DAO Envelop podcast. I'm your host, Eugene Crypto MC, and today we're gonna have a bit of history of internet episode because I'm having Sharad Agarwal. He's an impact entrepreneur. He's been in the web space. I don't say even Web3 because he's been in the space since 1996. In this year, he told the community, why should you have the first website? Now she's speaking, why should it be in a metaverse? So he's chief metaverse officer in Cybergear. He's keynote speaker. He's amazingly busy man, but he's amazingly marketer. I don't know how he has so much to do with all this he's been doing. So just look on his profiles. He works for 10 persons from my perception. So Sharad, it's a great honor to have you on our podcast. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you, Eugene, for having me. It's been a very interesting ride. You're right. I started in 1996, and at that time there was no Google. So I used to go to Yahoo to search for stuff. So yeah, it's been one long ride. We used to have dial-up modems to connect to the internet. And now we are watching Netflix on internet. So everything has changed before my eyes in the last 26 years. And you are very right in saying that my first PowerPoint presentation was entitled Top 10 Reasons Why You Should Have a Website. And now, 26 years later, it says Top 10 Reasons Why You Should Be in the Metaverse.
This has been an amazing journey. I can't even imagine what similarities do you see in those times for now. But let me ask you, what similarities, despite of the significant technology impacts, so at that times, an email was the most developed application like Bitcoin for now, and now we're talking about Metaverse. But what hasn't changed? What similarities do you see now in Web3 space if compared with Web 1 space in the 90s?
Yeah, there are quite a few similarities in the sense that, in Web 1, when it started, it was static, then it became dynamic, and now it is interactive. So that's the evolution of the internet. That's also where technology is taking us. So people don't have to worry about how the technology works. Till today, I don't know what TCP really means. I don't know how the internet works. But the good thing is I know how to use internet to make money, to run a business. So people should not get bogged down by the technology or at the back end of what's happening. You don't have to know how to code or write, programs in blockchain, as long as you know the use cases and how you can use technology in a smart way to, create a business. So what is common is the fact that people have moved on as technology has evolved. And I think COVID in large part helped in that digital acceleration because people were forced to use technology to communicate, to do business, to work from home. So now I think technology is on steroids and it's moving at the speed of thought. It's literally happening as we speak. And I do Zoom meetings with a lot of founders of businesses. So 4 weeks back, they were in stage 1. Now they are in stage 3. So everything is moving at lightning speed. And all of us have to buckle up and be part of this accelerated technology revolution that is happening in front of our eyes.
It's often said that now we are in Web3 like we were in the Web 1 in 1997. Do you agree with the exact year of Web 1 if you compare it to the current situation, Web 3?
Yes, for me it is 1996, 97 all over again, because then we were educating the market and now again we are educating the market. And I say this all the time, 3 important things right now all of us need to do: education, education, and education.
Gotcha. Absolutely. So what are you most excited about in Web3 space?
The prospects that Web3 offers to brand leaders to monetize, to build communities, to collaborate rather than compete. And, recently I put out this post on LinkedIn, which got a lot of traction. It said, Web 2 by day and Web 3 by night. I gave the example of Nike and Adidas. During the day, they fight like cats and dogs to get the market share. But in the night, they collaborate, they share their stats, and they grow the market. So talk about baking a bigger pie. This is a good example of how Web 2 and Web 3 work hand in hand, competition and collaboration. So Web 3 is not like buying a new phone that you forget the old one, which is Web 2. Web 3 is just a layer that sits on Web 2. So you kind of migrate into that and you take all the pluses of decentralization, of collaboration that Web3 brings to businesses. And one more thing, Web3 is not about technology alone. Web3 is a mindset. And leaders, if they want to succeed in Web3, they have to get rid of this Web2 mindset. You cannot succeed in Web3 with a Web2 mindset. You need to pivot and you need to understand that the world is about collaboration. So forget the word competition, remove it from your dictionary and start collaborating with everybody in the space. Be they your suppliers, your customers, everything is one flat structure. And that's the new mindset I'm talking about. And the sooner the leaders embrace this, the sooner they will start getting return on engagement, which is ROE. And that is a stepping stone to ROI. You cannot go to ROI straight in Web3. It doesn't work. You build a community, you build engagement, and then profits follow.
Does it all mean that every company, every business in today's world should have what's so-called a Web3 strategy? If yes, how to elaborate this strategy?
Yeah, that's a good question. And that's what I do every day in Cyber Gear. So my agency is called Cyber Gear, and brands can visit us on cyber-gear.io to learn about how do you start by crafting a metaverse strategy. That's the starting point. You cannot be in the metaverse without having a robust strategy, which includes all the building blocks of the metaverse and, talks about the concept of digital twins. You have to, do it in a very systematic way. And like I said, the first step is crafting a metaverse strategy, which means you define the building blocks, all the pillars, all the milestones, you create a roadmap, and then you proceed accordingly. So people need to understand or get in touch with people who can help them, deliver this. And ideally, you should go with an organization that can take you from, A to Z with a 360 degrees holistic experience, rather than work with 4 or 5 different vendors who, might be working at tangents. So very important for brand leaders to identify the right person, the right organization who can take them from 0 to 100 in quick time.
Okay, so this is how you are, how do you feel your role in Cyber Gear? Okay, another great roles are mentioned in your LinkedIn. Recently, you found ONLYwebinars, the logo we may see in the left top corner on your screen. What is it? Why did you do that? How it helps?
Sure. So when COVID happened some 2 years back, I saw the opportunity for creating a platform for having meaningful conversations on a global basis. And, it started by my first Zoom meeting, which I attended 2.5 years back. I was fascinated by the concept that sitting in Dubai, and I could talk 11 hours away in San Francisco with people on the, same table across different continents. And we were having real-time conversations. So my first Zoom meeting inspired me to create ONLYwebinars.com. And since I run a digital agency, it was very easy. I found a domain called ONLYwebinars.com, called my designers, developers. Over the weekend, we designed this platform. And I'm happy to say that, 2 years back when we had our first webinar, I remember we had 2 panelists and 25 people in the room. And now recently, the last webinar, we had 6 panelists, 1,200 people in the room from 5 continents and 72 countries. So look how we have grown this business look how we have grown this community. And now we are having a lot of meaningful conversations, not only about the metaverse, NFT, Web3 space, but also about leadership. So we are running all kinds of webinars, and it's like a Robin Hood model. I charge the corporates for hosting their webinars, and I do free community webinars. So we are getting a lot of engagement, a lot of good testimonials. And now it's such a well-oiled machinery that I can create a topic today and host the webinar after 2 days and get enough traction. So it's been an amazing ride, and ONLYwebinars has helped us meet people who are thought leaders, game changers across the globe. So it's helped us a lot in building my profile, my organization's profile, and helping other brands in the space to use our network to make strategic collaborations for exponential growth.
Well, and third, what's mentioned on LinkedIn is that you are an advisor at Metaverse Fashion Council DAO. And if I'm not mistaken, Kazbek Bektursunov belongs to this, or he's a founder. He's also been in my podcast. We're familiar in real life. So how do you act in this role? What is Metaverse Fashion Council DAO, and what's all about?
Sure. So I met Kazbek on Zoom some 5 months back, and he reached out to me because he saw I was quite active building a community. And so he suggested that I should join him as an advisory board member and help him grow the organization. So I like Kazbek's vision on where he's taking this, and I signed up for it. I'm now 5 months into this space. My role basically is to grow the Metaverse Fashion Council across the globe in 5 continents. So I'm helping him appoint brand ambassadors, key members of the advisory council. Other than that, I'm hosting specific webinars for the fashion industry, to again increase the knowledge of people about the metaverse, help small entrepreneurs in this space to reach larger audiences. And we also hold the board meetings of Metaverse Fashion Council on our platform, ONLYwebinars.com. So it's a good strategic alliance. And our end game is obviously to build in the metaverse, a whole city, the Metaverse Fashion Council, and then get all the top brands globally to come to us. Because once you have a thriving community, that's what brands need, right? So that's our approach. We build the community first, and then the brands will follow.
Okay, can you please elaborate? I do understand that ONLYwebinars is an extremely powerful networking and marketing tool because it unites a lot of people. So how exactly a business regarding Web3 may use ONLYwebinars for its purposes? Should it come and create your own webinar, or should it join other webinars? Exactly in details.
Yeah, sure. So what happens is brands come to us. I'll give you an example. There is a community called All Stars Women. You can Google them, find them. It's a community that's going to be 10,000 strong women across the globe, and they will be raising money through NFT launches. And that money will be used to help women-led startups, because you will agree there is a very big gender gap in our industry. Women are getting left behind, even though they are top voices. They deliver more for the dollar than men-owned businesses. But the fact is that women are getting left behind. So All Stars Women came to me again some 5 months back and said, we want you to help us build a community. So I'm doing that for them through ONLYwebinars platform. We host regular webinars where their brand ambassadors come and speak to a larger audience. And we discuss important things like how to keep people safe in the metaverse, as an example, how to have more women in leadership positions, not only participate on and be on the table, but to take leadership positions. So that is what we are able to achieve through ONLYwebinars.com. So any commercial brand, be it Nike or what have you, can reach us. We will create customized webinars. It can be their panelists, or we can help source panelists who are already, strong spokespeople in the industry. So we work around a topic, we create a panel or fireside chats, And then we have, like I said, 14,000 strong community already based on the 62 webinars I have hosted to date. So they can leverage our community. And not only ONLYwebinars community, I also want to highlight that I am the founder of Meta Shapers, which is a new community I'm creating. It's at meta-shapers.com. And this is global, and people in the blockchain space, AR, VR, Metaverse, NFT, and even investors are part of our community. And we hold regular meetings. In fact, there's one day after, we are holding a meeting in the Metaverse on Spatial. So people can come, create their avatars. And there's a lot of fun, people can dance in the Metaverse. And then, of course, we have serious workshops and business sessions. So, yeah, so community building is at the heart of Web3. And I'm personally investing a lot of my time on a daily basis. If you follow me on LinkedIn, you will see I have 6-7 posts daily. And I like to create new content. And I like to call myself a producer rather than a consumer.
Absolutely. So I have found their site, allstarswomennftclub.com. I will put their link in the description. So needless to say that you may find all the links for ONLYwebinars.com, for cybergear.io, and for this. And one on the interview, you were talking that perhaps Leila Hurstel, the founder of All Stars Women, she's only 20 years old, and she is your mentor. How could it be? Is that correct?
It is absolutely correct. And, my advice to everybody else on the planet is to find a 20-year-old mentor, because the Gen Z is driving this revolution, not us. I'm too old to be, coming up with all the ideas, because I didn't grow up with a mobile phone. I grew up with black and white television sets with no programs. Now, this new generation is born with mobile phones. They have access to the internet 24/7. They have access to all technology platforms, social and others. So, it comes naturally to them. They are gifted. They are into gaming. So they know all the controls. They know the shortcuts. They know how to navigate fast. I am old school. I'm a Web 1 guy. It takes me long to understand basic stuff. So I love to talk to youngsters, and you'll be surprised. Like Leila Hurstel, I have almost a dozen of 20-year-olds who are part of my network, and I meet them regularly to stay in touch with what's the latest. Because, like I said, they are devouring the internet. They are reading a lot. They are watching webinars. They are watching YouTube videos. So they are a bundle of energy. They are a bundle of information. You don't need to go to Google anymore. Find a 20-year-old mentor for yourself.
Absolutely. So sounds absolutely amazing. So it seems to me that you are learning on every second. What's your personal, maybe the silly question, because you're in space for 20 seconds, but nevertheless, you are learning. How would you describe your personal learning strategy in Web3?
It's very simple. You need to put in all the hard work. Nothing happens easy. And you need to read a lot. You need to meet a lot of new people across different industries. So I talk to guys in manufacturing, in trading, in education, in science and technology, because Metaverse is for everyone. It is for every industry in every geography. So it's just about meeting more people and talking to them and learning from them. And, my network is my net worth today. And I have 30,000 strong connections on LinkedIn alone. Most of them are Web3 connections. So I am removing my Web 1 connections because they are old and they are not relevant. And I'm replacing them on a daily basis with Web3 people. And I'm happy to say maybe 70% of my connections are now in the Web3 space, because it's growing by leaps and bounds. And then it's easy to strike a conversation with them because they understand the voice and the vocabulary. And I'm helping educate people by, if you go to cyber-gear.io, you will find Metaverse, NFT, Web3, crypto glossaries. So I've taken the pains to curate this content, and people who have zero knowledge about Web3 can get up to speed in very quick time if they download these glossaries for free and take the time to understand and go through them. So like I said, we are educating the market, and obviously once people are up to speed, they will want our services. So if all of us, I think, wear that hat, the market will grow faster. And it won't take 26 years like last time the internet took to become popular. This time around, it will only take 2 to 3 years. So everything is accelerated. Knowledge is, like I said, on the tap. You just need to know where to find it. And more importantly, be part of a community, because that's where you'll get maximum bang for your buck.
Is metaverse strategy the same thing as a Web3 strategy? And if now, what's the difference between metaverse strategy and Web3 strategy of the business we've already discussed, and how to elaborate to create a personal web or metaverse strategy for any business in the world?
Yeah, so a metaverse strategy is about, building your presence in the metaverse. So for example, let's take a city, right? A city exists in its physical form. You can create a digital twin, which is the virtual equivalent. So there is technology available, and I'm working with a few companies in the US and certain parts of Europe that have this infrastructure metaverse already ready. So it's almost like a zero code platform. You can go to market very quickly. All you need are your 3D renderings, which in any case exists. So if you are building a skyscraper in a city, it might take 3 years to build in the real world, but in the metaverse, you can build it in 3 weeks. So that's magic. That's where you can start selling to investors your skyscraper in 3 weeks, rather than old school waiting for 3 years for the building to be complete. So once you have built it in the metaverse, the digital twin that I talked about, you go to market very quickly, and your possible investors now can fly in like a Superman almost, see the view from the 60th floor of the building. They can rearrange their interiors because technology is already there. And once they are happy, they click and they buy. So e-commerce is now becoming experiential commerce, and e-commerce stores are going to be NFT stores. That's my prediction. So technology is moving very fast, and people need to decide now whether they want to be leaders or followers. It's a Hobson's choice.
Absolutely. We have already had 2 years of NFT hype while selling JPEGs. And of course, we do understand that the potential of NFT, its utility is quite wider than selling JPEGs. How do you see the potential of NFT as a tool? Because it's often said that NFTs are a sort of building blocks for metaverse. How do you see its potential? How NFT will be used in upcoming years?
Yeah, NFTs are already becoming mainstream. If you see, there are so many NFT marketplaces already, and more are being launched every day, literally. And I know that because a lot of these people approach me for brand building or raising funds, etc. So NFTs are here to stay. People should not worry about whether the market is going up or it's going down. That is part of the process. But NFTs are here to stay. So we need to figure out how are we going to use NFTs to monetize businesses. NFTs are a very important building block for monetization, for building brand loyalty. And it is up to our creativity and imagination how we decide to deploy NFTs. But fact is, they are here to stay. They will continue to grow. So the faster brands understand not necessarily the technology behind them, but the use cases. So how can you build a brand? And then how can you, on top of it, have a loyalty program where you reward your people or members through NFTs? And smart NFTs are pretty much now, the talk of town. So it's like having the old mobile phone or a smart mobile phone. So the old NFTs or the smart NFTs, that's the parallel I can draw. And the good thing about smart NFTs is that they are programmable, they are customizable, as you go along. So nothing is static. Everything is dynamic and interactive. So like I said, it's up to your creativity, your imagination. And I like to say this very often, the metaverse can be what you want it to be.
Absolutely. You absolutely anticipated my next question. I wanted to ask you about smart NFTs. So you are familiar. So this concept, as for me, was invented because people were so disappointed with the lack of utility of NFTs. So they took an NFT, added any fungible collateral, fungible tokens inside, wrap it up with a set of features, and this leads for dozens of use cases everywhere. And this is in particular the DAO Envelop has been developing. What are your main thoughts? Does it create the more utility of NFT, and how exactly?
Yeah, you need to think value. Okay, a lot of people are in a rush to launch NFT projects. They come up with these nice JPEGs. It might be some theme, some story, and they think, okay, let's go to market, let's make money. It worked in the beginning in a very few cases, but it doesn't work anymore. Why? Because people have become smarter. In the beginning, nobody understood NFTs, right? And it was like the wild, wild west. There was no regulation, there were no laws, nobody understood the jargon. Now, people are becoming aware and they want value. So when you are launching any NFTs, be they normal or smart NFTs, start by thinking, what is the value proposition? How will a consumer benefit from how you are positioning yourself? So you need to put the cap of being on the other side of the table rather than just looking at, hey, this looks good, let's go to market. No, study your target audience, see what's out there, see how you can differentiate yourself from your competition. And once you've done that exercise, there is a greater chance of succeeding because you know what the market needs. And regardless of technology, Web 1, Web 2, Web 3, never forget the fundamentals of marketing 101, which is give people what they want, not what you think they want, what they want. So understand the market and possibly, do some market research, do some surveys, do some polls. Technology is available. And once you get it spot on, you are likely to succeed.
You already said that you are getting rid of your Web 2 contacts in your personal networking list and switching for Web 3. And this is an amazing strategy. I personally love it. But nevertheless, a lot of people, the vast majority of people are still in Web 2 and they are still skeptical into Web 3. So would you suggest them to look deeply inside Web 3 because Web 3 is our indispensable future? And should they switch their careers radically from Web 2 to Web 3?
I don't suggest that. I'm somewhere around Web 2.5. So I'm in the process of transitioning myself. So I don't call myself a Web 3 expert, but I'd like to get there as soon as possible. But Web 2 is very strong. Web 2 is not old. Web 2 is the present. The present is Web 2. Web 3 is what we are aspiring to get to, right? It's a process. It takes time. You cannot one morning get up and say, now I am Web 3. No, I know some people are doing that, but that's wrong. Okay. And like I said, it's not so much about the technology, it's the mindset. So when you start thinking collaboration, you are kind of getting there. And let me talk about one pillar of Web 3 that I think is very important. It's a concept called transhumanism. Transhumanism is a belief that technology can solve any problem. Just think about it. This means that if we use the correct technology, people can probably live for 150 years or 200 years because technology can make that happen. It can slow down the anti-aging process. Likewise, I'm working on a project with a company in Spain right now, which probably will help people log into the metaverse with their brainwaves, no password required. And Eugene, this is very powerful because if you look at it, $2 billion have been lost to hackers this year alone, from January 1 till 30th June. And all of us forget our passwords all the time because we have different passwords for different platforms. So now this is transhumanism project, that if this, can be implemented, it solves so many problems. Solana wallets got drained last week. And so many other wallets are worried that, likewise, some hacker might drain those wallets. And all the fortunes of so many people might go to dust in quick time. So we need to now think out of the box. And I think transhumanism is a very big pillar of Web3, a very big differentiator. And that's where I feel all the data scientists and the leaders of organizations need to go with their thinking. So I've started talking about this concept very recently after doing a deep dive on this subject. And I encourage other entrepreneurs to share this thought process and vision with their teams, because there are a lot of capable, programmers out there who can create stuff, provided we can guide them in the right direction.
Sure, it's been an absolutely mind-blowing and extremely insightful talk to you. I wish I could have an opportunity to talk to you again, but we all are concerned with the time scale. But the last question, what's the best way to follow you on the internet and to reach you out for any business proposal or for your recommendations or advisement and so on and so forth?
Yeah, sure. There are various ways. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. So just, look for Sharad Agarwal, look for my company, Cybergear, you'll find me. The fastest way is to visit the website, cyber-gear.io, because there you can see our range of services. You can see all the activities we are involved in, and all the good content that we put out will help you educate yourself, bring you up to speed, and benefit from all the new technologies. So cyber-gear.io is your go-to destination. And lastly, do join Meta Shapers, because that's a community it's a LinkedIn for the metaverse, very curated community holding a lot of events. And if you want to get up to speed, that's a great way of starting. It's at meta-shapers.com.
Amazing. So needless to say that you may find all the links in the description of this video. By the way, Sharad is also tagged in the posts on the social media where you have found this podcast. Sharad Agarwal, impact entrepreneur, Web3 web veteran and chief metaverse officer at Cybergear, was my guest on the DeWeb podcast. I'm your host, Eugene Creepy MC. Please like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next episode with the great minds, brilliant minds in Web3 who create the space with their minds and their heads. This is an amazing journey. It's just started, so you may join it right now, despite of 13 years of having Bitcoin all around the world. Stay tuned for the next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Eugene.
Blockchain. BLOCK chain. Digital money, smart contracts, NFT, IDO, decentralization, transparency. So many opportunities, but so many challenges. Some financial manipulators, by their actions, confuse blockchain solutions and block their development. The idea that the blockchain should bring copyright and royalties protection to the next level is quite old, but the realizations of these ideas are not perfect at all. There is another problem of determining the value of a particular cryptocurrency or NFT. These and other problems need to be solved. Fortunately, the blockchain infrastructure is evolving. My name is E, Mr. E, and I represent the Envelop project. Many things have already been invented in the blockchain today. Tokens, smart contracts, platforms for creating your own coins, NFTs, exchanges for buying, selling, and exchanging all these blockchain resources. Envelop is another step in the development of crypto technologies. The protocol that works with NFT and cryptocurrencies. The idea is simple but disruptive. Let's assume you have an NFT, Bitcoin and Ethereum. Using the Envelop protocol, you can wrap the original NFT accompanied with several tokens. Technically, you get a similar NFT, but what is the breakthrough here? Once wrapped, the token has a number of additional features that were not available before. The minimal cost appears. It is provided with coins wrapped together with NFT. An asset wrapped with Envelop has a number of properties that allow the original author to receive royalties from the resale of that asset. Various rules can be applied to the wrapped token. For example, a lock period for unwrapping. It secures the asset till the determined moment or safeguards it from speculation during the hype period. At the same time, wrapped tokens can be transferred and traded. These are just some of the scenarios for using Envelop. NFTs become more popular, and the tools provided by Envelop expand the opportunities of NFTs utilization. Wide application possibilities are achieved due to the fact that, in addition to the protocol, the project includes a number of subsystems. The protocol provides functions wrapping and unwrapping. Oracle Mechanics provides asset valuation using analytical algorithms. Index provides a summary assessment of several NFT assets with the common criteria. The project has its own token, which connects all elements of the system. Altogether, this is Envelop, a tool in the blockchain world for building modern and secure systems in various fields. Find more info about the project on the website. Envelop. Make your NFT valuable. Just practical, no hype.